No goals here in the first half. We look at Palermo, came in with a good goal-scoring record. What do they need to get right here in the second half?
Well, I think the distribution out of midfield has to be better. It has to be more methodical in the build-up. But Palermo is staying true to the integrity of playing away on a swift, quick, lightning-fast counter. So they've been good getting into that three-prong attack. They obviously miss Micoli, the Romario of Sicily, who has 19 of their 32 goals. You know, and particularly 3 of the 4 that they played against Inter Milan, they missed that quality in the final third. But they've had 4 corners, so that's positive, that's encouraging. They're still 0-0 at the break, which is important. They could be down 1 or 2 if Cagliari had better efficiency in the attacking third. Look for a higher tempo. I think a little bit more aggressive in the middle of the field and where they engage to press Cagliari. A little more bite and better synchronized coordination in the midfield with their passing.
Now, Cagliari have failed to score in 3 of their last 4 games. However, they did have those 4 goals against Roma back on February 1st. And well, in terms of possession, they've really gotten a foothold in this one. We take a look, and 54% of it here. That's not going to sit well with Palermo and their manager, Bartolomuti.
And I think the 54% doesn't even do justice to their attacking movements. Time and time again, they're getting 6 and 7 players, 8 players into the attack. Perico has come and been influential on that right side. Descent has been outstanding. They've gotten free-flowing movement of Ibarbo. So that's an area for that back 4 of Palermo to be very cautious for.
Well, Cagliari have had to adjust on the fly. They got Andrea Kosu, their talented playmaker, back from suspension, but he had to come off early on. Ibarbo has come in and altered things. It has been successful, but they haven't found the back of the net just yet. It's Cagliari and Palermo. Bartolomuti looking to continue the good times here for the Sicilians, who are unbeaten in 4 and having taken 10 points from a possible 12 on offer. Things are starting to look up here as they find themselves in the 8th position. And with the victory today, well, they can move themselves joint level on points with AS Roma on 34, just 2 below Internazionale, who will be in action tomorrow here on Fox Soccer against bottom side Novara. But a lot of work ahead here for Palermo. Have had their woes on the road, as Christopher mentioned throughout the broadcast. They've only taken 4 points from 11 games and one of 3 sides yet to win on their travels. It has got to get better on the road for Palermo. Now, cracking Cagliari has been a very difficult prospect. Only 2 other teams, AC Milan and Lazio, have won here at the Sant'Elia in Serie A play. 6 draws to go with 3 victories. So a little inconsistency continues to be the theme here for Davide Ballardini, who replaced Massimo Ficadenti just before the start of the season. He is Sardinian born and bred, very much beloved in these circles, but how desperately he would love to get back-to-back victories for the 2nd time this season, and of course the 1st time since early September.
We talked about losing the opportunities and advantage of playing lesser teams like Parma, Fiorentina, Novara. These are teams that, had they gotten the points, they wouldn't be sitting. Cagliari wouldn't be sitting in 11th place. They'd be in 7th place at this point. So you can see the attacking quality. You can see how formidable they are at home. But that little cutting edge, that final efficiency in execution in the final third hasn't been sharp enough just yet. Look for a higher tempo out of these first 5-10 minutes here.
Palermo in the white, going from left to right across your screen. And Cagliari in their home rosso-blue, or red and blue. One substitution for the Sardinians, as we mentioned, Ibarbo safely back here for Astori.
And I think it'll be fascinating to see what type of tactical changes, or just, releasing certain players from Palermo into the attack to kind of change the dynamic of the first 45 for Muti. He comes in at 0-0 at the break. Now you have an opportunity to engage, press a little bit higher, as we were saying, take that higher line and try to press and win and recover in the midfield.
Davide Ballardini, going against his old side, actually took over Cagliari in the early stages of November. His former left back, Balzaretti, blindly playing it across.
You see, Barreto already is engaging in a higher position, so they're trying to squeeze Cagliari and not allow them to exit out freely with space. Already one change we've seen from the first half.
Pinilla once again making another trip to the turf here, locking horns with Silvestre and then back 4. as you were at the end of the first half. No changes from either manager. Good display from both of these goalkeepers. Interestingly enough, Cagliari, 6 goalless draws this season. Bertolo. Moves it off now for Ilicic. Just gets it lost there as Conti recovers. Well, credit to Cagliari. They've been organized, very composed, and difficult to break down. Thiago Ribeiro trying to lay it into the path here for Ibarbo. There's a sea of white in front of him. He drops for the Brazilian. Pinilla's waiting along with Nain Golan. He's safely repelled. There's not enough bite in the attacking third right now.
Well, already seen one change where in the first half Palermo wasn't trying to accelerate quick restarts. Now they're getting the ball back in possession to try to get into the attacking third.
Lovely touch shot.
The touch was a little too soft. You know, actually, you got to play crisper in the tighter third. The Cagliari breaking in the open field.
Nain Golan on the counter.
Good ball.
Awkward there for Ibarbo, who loses his footing. He's got it all to do against 2 defenders, and Balzaretti held his own very well. They're not out of the woods yet, and it was a real dangerous high kick there.
Well, this is why they brought him in, and you just talked about the 6 draws at home, Christian, for Cagliari, and this is the one player that Ballardini wants to bring in that can be the hitman. He's already scored against Roma in that 4-2 victory. And you see that he has that cutting edge, that goalkeeper's instinct. Very intuitive and not afraid to be ruthless and take an opportunity. Pisano getting the worst of that one.
To say the least. Didn't look too pleasant. Mudan is down, and play continues. Alessandro Agostini. Roaming that touchline. It's going to be a Palermo throw. Just coming out that right thigh of Agostini. Pinilla eluding the challenge. Good strength here from the Chilean. He's got Ibarbo. It's a real robust physical duo up top. And Pinilla in the end, for all of his endeavor, really wasted. Agostini for Cagliari. Revealing his attacking instincts once again, trying to go to the byline. Pulls off a very good cross. Just over the head of Desena.
Well, Desena did well to open the space for Ribeiro.
Ribeiro's.
Ooh, again, he's not getting the corner. He thought it was a deflection. But Agostino on the left side, good change of gears, change of tempo. And that's what you need to break out. The space in the attacking third is so tight in the wide positions. You need to change the gears, open it up, and that allows, you know, the attacking trailing players to get into the attacking third. But still, sloppy, poor execution really on both sides when they're getting those final pass. Entry passes into the feet.
Good recovery there from Andrea Mantovani to cover for Balzaretti. He's stuck with it, the former Juve man. Donati now for Ilicic. Budan will flare it into a wide position. It's a good cross in, but well read. In by Michael Lagazzi. Not a lot to do for the Cagliari goalkeeper, but he's been sharp when called into action. Mentioned Cagliari's toothless ways. In the first club that failed to score against Novara this season last weekend. Look to alleviate those blushes today with a maximum points against the likes of Palermo. Here's Barreto. Good recovery. Ilicic, the Slovenian, leaves it up. Barreto just overran it a bit. And it may open up on the counter here. And here comes Cagliari behind Canini. Ribeiro. And Nainggolan, acres of space for the Belgian. And a sea of defenders to beat, and it's rather easy in the end. Not a lot of ideas there.
Yeah, there's two lines of four. It's an organized block, and you need a little more individual brilliance and ability to surge, and those short bursts and accelerations to open up the attacking third. You're not really getting that out of deep midfield. The center's been good, but there's few options. There's almost a lethargic type of final movement and connection on both sides in the attacking third.
Here's Pinilla. The target, Ibarbo. He's big and strong, but he fails to bring it down. Good spell this from Cagliari. And the goal at this juncture would be decisive. Perico for Ribeiro.
That's the one. That's exactly what I was mentioning. A little more individual ingenuity where you're dribbling, cutting, chopping the space, and looking to shoot from outside. This game would have been perfect for Miccoli. The few looks that Palermo have gotten, he's one of those players that tips the scales, magical, not afraid to take risk. That's what Palermo is missing on the other side for Cagliari. They're doing so well as a unit, the way they're recovering, the way that they're breaking out, but just missing a little bit of fantasy in the midfield.
Flag is down. Ilicic. Worked the 1-2 with Budan, just didn't have the understanding. County able to play it out of the back with efficiency. Good skill from Nainggolan. Just shrugs aside the defender. What kind of decision making will take place? He gets a good cross off, and Balzaretti meets it head on.
Balzaretti does well with his positioning here. A great surge on the left from Ibarbo. Again, you expect a faster gear, but still he's able to turn the defender both ways. Slots him, and he beats three, but can't get Balzaretti over the top. Well positioned.
Ibarbo last scoring in that big 3-0 victory here against Genoa off the corner. Just this second here for Cagliari, and another punch from Viviano. Has had some strange decisions.
At this point, Cagliari might want to try a short corner because they're so packed and compact in the area. Nobody has defended in the outside.
There was some question as to whether this match would go forward, but his fans braving the icy conditions that have swept throughout Western and Central Europe. Zahavi. Budan playing just off of Ilicic. Finds his way through somewhere or another. Pretty difficult going. Eventually headed off, and a great opportunity to break. Daniele De Sena. Great ball. Wonderful. It's Ibarbo out in front. Pinilla! Finally the breakthrough. Try and you shall succeed. It's Mauricio Pinilla scoring against his parent club. Cagliari 1, Palermo 0.
Well, there's a magical goal, and you got to give credit. Daniele De Sena breaks out from the midfield, chops the space, and a fantastic. We talked about the midfield fantasy. This time it wasn't predictable. Ball played into the feet of Ribeiro, and instead of dropping to De Sena, he breaks the pressure, slots three. Here's the outlet pass. Now what's Ribeiro? He comes across the middle. Fantastic way to pass right here. Ibarbo across the middle, and there's the killer. The fantastic goal scorer, Pinilla, doing why they brought him in, and scores a magical goal for Cagliari. Well deserved.
Second goal for his new club, biting the hand that used to feed him. He's finding quite a home in Sardinia. All in all, his fourth goal in Serie A this season. And the Chilean has put Cagliari out in front here, and a little work to do for Palermo, whose road woes continue.
We talked about Conti, who was sitting in front of the back four, and one of the things that we liked that I liked in the first half was the ability to exit out quickly into the feet. They got into the center, who was magical. He talked about chopping the space, getting up the field. He played extremely into the wide point. Ibarbo, with a combination, that was that extra little ability and technique to break down that organized block. Fantastic goal.
A wonderful ball through from Thiago Ribeiro to set it up. A flowing move that paid off. Cadi scoring just the 21st goal this season.
Well, I think what will be interesting is how both teams react after the goal. Does this settle Cagliari? You know, in the midfield, they've had that midfield balance. They've facilitated the movements. They've incorporated players like Perico into the attack. Coming forward, Desena has been outstanding with his movements in the area that he's covering in the midfield. See if this gives them that cushion to play on their terms.
Palermo looking slightly wobbly right now, and it's Cagliari really brimming with confidence. The pep in their step. What kind of a response will we see from the Sicilians? Agostini showing that adventure. He's got Ribeiro, skips past one defender. Ale Agostini, what a run.
Well, he's been a motor at that left side. We talked about the change of tempo that he has and brings to ignite the attack. He sees that coming easily, as if it's slow motion. Great little drag across his body to pull the defense through. Ribeiro is coming to life as well. And you see that he's looking for a goal.
Goes to the far post, and Viviano opting to punch. There'll be a throw here for the home side.
You know, interesting enough, we were talking about Cagliari pushing a little higher to press and engage the pressure, but that whole break started right in front of their own area. You know, there was an 80-yard, 70-meter break, end to end. Fantastic, lightning fast counter.
Perico getting his lines crossed with the likes of Daniele Desena and let it mistakenly fall out of play.
The positive thing with Ibarbo, you see him at the top of the screen there, is he's keeping Balzaretti at home and not allowing him to incorporate himself in the attack.
It's the other left fullback who's getting actively involved, as Agostini has shown his attacking adventure, but here comes Zahavi and Palermo, wide for Balzaretti. This is Donati. He'll go the direct approach here, and it sits its way up here for Palermo. The turn from Barreto, and he'll go for goal himself. And a rather rash decision you'd expect from the Brazilian, or rather Paraguayan.
Well, you saw earlier, Budan gets this look here. He's been the Cagliari killer. He scored 4 goals against them, back to dating when he was with Fiorentina.
And now we're going to see a double switch here. Abel Hernandez as well as Giulio Miliaccio are going to come on. So here comes the Uruguayan, and the sacrifice will be Eros Pisano and Zahavi. So a slight gamble here, but Palermo, with a half an hour remaining, looking for a little more attacking inspiration, and perhaps they'll get it. Miliaccio, the out-and-out leader, a long-time servant of the club, and he provides a little steal in the center of the park.
Yeah, they liken him to a type of Gattuso type player, Miliaccio.
Just over the head, and Budan will spearhead the attack. Hernandez sitting in just behind. Happy to have him back from a slight bout of injury. Look of consternation from Igor Budan. Caught in the offside position. Sano's give it away. Cagliari dropping off just a bit, absorbing some of this pressure since the goal. This is Pinilla, the goal scorer. knowing the opposition all too well. It's only been 3 weeks since his move.
Exactly, Christian. You're always going to feel comfortable playing against the players that you play with day in and day out, particularly if you're an attacker.
There was a mid-air collision. The referee indicated that play should go on, but Conti clearly shake it up. His two teammates colliding.
He takes it bad, Conti.
With Astori there.
He's already lifted in the air. Now this is the pass. There's the entry pass, and he beats 3. Nobody expected. They thought Rivera was going to drop the ball off to De Sena. And it's almost a no-look pass with perfect English and curve that comes and drops weighted perfectly. Pinilla, that's why they pay him the big money. That's why they brought him in to be the classic number 9. Fantastic goal.
And there is Daniele Conti, the 33-year-old Cagliari captain. They rolled to play in a losing cause back in September in that 3-2 defeat away to Palermo at the Barbera. Sat out about a month between December and January with a knee injury, but he is the heart and soul of this Cagliari midfield. It's a head injury, so play in the end forced to stop. Another look, wonderful ball from Ribeiro. Ibarbo does the intelligent thing and plays it across, and it's hard running. As you see Pinilla beating the defender to the far post, and the simplest of tap-ins. That's where we stand.
I think that was one of the elements that was missing in the first 45, as we see Conti still down, was that quartet of combining, where you actually open field space, that you're able to take advantage and break out quickly, use the width, but then get the short exchange with precision and execution. This time it all came together, beautifully choreographed for Cagliari. Well-deserved when you look at the way they played the first 45.
It's a decisive round 23. Important part of the fixture list, as you see. Macati captain going off. One more look at it here, and he really took the brunt right up that right shoulder.
Two things. He takes a head blow, and he also gets a snap on the neck. You know, so it's a double whammy for an injury, and that looks extremely painful.
And they already were forced into making change in the first half, and it looks as though they're going to make another one.
Ekdal is a good player. You know, I mean, he can fill in. You don't lose much as far as simplicity and being able to relay and facilitate the movement of the ball in midfield. So this could work to the advantage of Cagliari. We'll see how Palermo reacts. They still have 25 minutes. At this point, it could be a huge home victory, huge 3 points that they're looking for to capture against Palermo.
Let's see how it changes. Ekdal, a different type of player. The Swede will come in. Youngster, and provide a little bit more of an attack-minded threat. There's one goal this season, and Conti still feeling the after effects of that collision. Here comes Ekdal. Has bounced around the city out. Really has not found a solid home despite playing at the likes of Juventus and Bologna.
Yeah.
Here's Josip Ilicic. It's a good challenge from Davide Astori. It's given away, and Balzaretti. It's a good-looking cross just behind Hernandez. Palermo on the front foot. Responded well after the goal.
Yeah, I think that's what they were missing, particularly in the first 45. That, you know, they had the attacking build-out, they had the orchestration, they were recovering in good positions. You see Conti here. Ballardini wanting to be more compact, really, on both sides of the ball when they're in attack, because the combining is starting to come. You know, they're getting that fluidity in movement going forward, but he doesn't want to allow the space for that quick Palermo break. Conti, his father, a legend from Roma, and ironically, he has some of his best matches against Roma whenever he plays. Usually scoring, but not last time in the 4-2.
And a warm round of applause from the Sardinian faithful here, acknowledging the commitment of their captain. Going to be evaluated by the medical staff. 2 of the 3 changes utilized by Cagliari already. midway through the second half, and the only thing separating these two is the goal in the 56th minute from Mauricio Pinilla, and it's Cagliari looking for more. Agostini. Here's Miliaccio. Not a lot of options there for Miliaccio. Ekdal just nipped from behind. Nainggolan. Wonderful stuff here from the Belgian. Pulls it across. He's got a target in the likes of Pinilla. Just couldn't bring it down. Balzaretti for Donati. That deep lying roll. The Italian opting for the left-hand side, and Balzaretti making that roaming run forward. Good-looking ball for Hernandez, just trying to chip it in off the flick. Over the head, and there's Budan waiting for it, a snap header down. But really not enough power to beat Agazzi.
That was great work from Hernandez. Just anything to add a little fantasy in the attack and change, tip the scale. He gets the first touch here, low ball driven. He does well to hold up the pressure, takes off the chest. He just wants to get that pinpoint at the back to get an opportunity.
And it breaks for Gabriele Perico. Ribeiro. And the right back continues to make the run. Pinilla the target. Ibarbo at the far post. Here's Victor Ibarbo. Oh, and he slices it completely. Fluffed his lines, did the Colombian. And it was a wonderful opportunity to add to the Cagliari advantage and perhaps put this one on ice.
Well, you see the expression on Perico with the ball that's played, and Ibarbo gets a fantastic look. All the space in the world. He doesn't have his body orientated towards the goal correctly and mishits it.
Franco Vasquez coming in. Third final switch for Bartolomuti. Nainggolan.
He's coming on, and you see Nainggolan, why he's so sought after in Italy. And he's similar, even a little bit more technical than Indler, who went from Udinese to Napoli. That type of player that you want to have in your team in the midfield. Good low center of gravity, great technique, makes good decisions when the opportunity's presented.
Ribeiro clever. Astori pulls it back.
Well, this is a time where Palermo have made 3 changes to, ignite some energy into their lineup, give some aggression, and then maybe get some attacking options going forward and some freshness. But Cagliari is starting to get that sense where they're enjoying, the past 10, 15 minutes of the game.
De Sena just nips in, relieve the pressure temporarily. 20 minutes remaining in Sardinia.
That's the part of the match, Christian, where the final 20 you can be nervous and stressed, or you can enjoy it. You start playing with a better, a little what I call the sugar. So let's see if Cagliari can look for that second goal.
Offside on Abel Hernandez.
He's brought something to the attacking point. You see his movements. He's starting to separate the back four of Cagliari, looking to cut off the shoulder of the central defender.
Palermo haven't won on their travels, going all the way back to May 15th. And a triumph away to Sampdoria. It's 12 games in Serie A without a victory, dating back to last season. They've lost 8 of those. And a high boot there from Albin Ekdal. The jinx continues unless something can change. Ribeiro intercepts.
Well done. This is when you want the calm and the pause and maintain, put a premium on possession. That's been the strength for Cagliari. They're playing far better in quality in the midfield. Nice touch.
Here comes Cagliari on the right-hand side. They'll drop one off, and it's hit with De Sena.
Not bad.
What a hit from Daniele De Sena.
You see the timing of this player has been outstanding throughout the match, the full 70-plus minutes. De Sena again trailing time and time again with impeccable timing. Dropped off from Ribeiro, who drags across the top of the area.
Strikers looking for a little bit more support for Palermo. Perhaps they'll get it in the likes of Vasquez, the Argentinian classic playmaker, the South American mold. Balzaretti, the aforementioned, pulled across, but straight to the feet of Michele Canini.
On this particular type of match, you wonder why you wouldn't play with that classic playmaker if you're Palermo. They concede possession too easily. If they don't have Miccoli, who they depend on the break, and that obviously brings them down a notch. Clearly evident.
And misses pace, able to run in behind defenders. Yes. Potent on the finishing end as well. Donati. Ilicic. Big, strong physical presence up top. Balzaretti just pumps in another cross. That's courageous defending from Astori. So again, it took a deflection on the way in, and Canini had to be alert to really improvise, and perhaps a glare of disdain to his goalkeeper, Agazzi, who might have come out and punched it away. Another look here.
Yeah, really under siege with the crossing from this left side. Balzaretti doing well. Miglioraccio hitting that near post. Ilic with some nice cutbacks at the top of the area. Really the first electric, energetic response from Palermo since we've seen after the goal that they've taken against Cagliari. So they're starting to push, commit more players into the attack, playing with more risk and taking chances. Definitely more top-heavy, so we'll see if it gives Cagliari some opportunities on the break.
Can Cagliari continue to absorb this pressure? Cheaply given away, but the favor is returned. Agostini. Nainggolan.
A good idea. This one goes through.
Viviano will come for it. And manages just to keep it in. It's been adventurous in the back, you'd have to say, for the Palermo goalkeeper today.
Well, I think since Conti has come out, you see that Ekdal hasn't kept the same type of balance, in the midfield, where he's close to Nandalon and De Sena. And it looks as if Palermo have played two more in that area that are floating and roaming. So Cagliari haven't really made the adjustment in midfield to drop back another player or get that support like they did in the first 45 from Ribeiro.
Yeah, tough presence to replace. Conti occupies so much of that ball-winning role in the center of the park. Can Cagliari hang on for another 15 minutes? That's what these supporters are hoping for, and that really is a wasted free kick. Needlessly conceding possession. And time is of the essence here for Palermo. Headed for their 8th defeat on their travels. It's a good flick from Miglioraccio, trying to play it in his space for Ilicic.
Well, he really hasn't had much to do in the defense today. I mean, everything has been readable and predictable. And now you see a new surge and a new energy from Palermo.
It's a miscue, and it's Nainggolan relieving the pressure. Ibarra's up there all by himself. Silvestre. Vasquez, the Argentinian, for Ilicic. Just trying to spread the field. The hand Balzaretti making the run, and there could be a big hole on the left-hand side. Here comes Victor Ibarra looking to punish this Palermo defense. Plays it in front for Ribeiro, who's got Pinilla waiting. Mattia Silvestre quashing that move. Ribeiro right back at it, though. Tenacity personified, the Brazilian.
Oh, we talked about the three-prong attack. And it normally starts from Decena behind, trailing, but Ibarbo doing extremely well. Great weighted pass into Ribeiro on the right. I think Pineda was looking for a different type of pass.
Barreto. Eros Pisano. And Caddy having none of that.
Here it is. Oh, again, too weak.
Pineda. It's got just one partner, and it was Decena, but Pineda showing a little too much of it.
Oh, you see him running back to try to recover, but the legs are somewhat heavy.
Mastonati looking to unlock this Cagliari defense today. Ilicic. Took a deflection in. Hernandez, what a save. Had the flag gone up? That is the question. Certainly that was the appeal. And his Cagliari back four, but all indications are he was onside.
Now this is a golden opportunity. I mean, you can't ask for a better look, and you can see first-time ball. It looks like Hernandez is very close, maybe a slide off, and he tries to get the momentum and snap that down, and he even follows through completely with his body. Well read from Agassi. Huge save. Now this one you want to tuck away at the far post because you already have the keeper committed at the near post. That's the difference.
They're coming in waves now. Hernandez, the substitute. Vasquez, the run. Donati. Last ditch clearance as it drops for Eros Pisano. And Agassi, did he keep it in? It looks as though it's come out here for a Palermo corner kick.
Oh, he's come to life, and you see the authority of Agassi. Hernandez has looked good. Migliaraccio is winning balls in higher positions. They're getting behind. The young Argentine playmaker is also giving subtle touches that are putting players through and getting good looks. Palermo is not out of this by any means.
Half dozen corner kicks for the Sicilians. Migliaccio trying to head it in, appeals for a handball, but wishful thinking. Seems to be a little more urgency, perhaps desperation starting to creep into this Palermo side. Enrico loses out, pulls across, and it's an easy catch from Agassi. Ribeiro plays in a beautiful ball. It's hard running from Raja Nainggolan. Cagliari content to slow things up. Oh, lovely. Here's Nainggolan. It's closed down by Barreto. And possession paramount right now for the Sardinians. This is Decena.
Beautiful.
Space opens up for Daniele Decena. The 1-2. It's Decena.
You see, the fans going crazy. Love this little change of rhythm. An opening movement, drags it across. He's going to pick up the foul here. And he, as he's checking and soliciting for the ball with a drop-off, he gets clipped late. There's the touch.
Just a fraction late.
Well, good movement off the ball and interchanging there. Again, we talked about that quartet. Decena has been outstanding. His starting positions as he ignites the attack. They're getting the width. They're getting the combination. They're getting all the reference points up top, particularly when Palermo was starting to turn it on.
Present the golden opportunity. Mauricio Pinilla beaten away by Viviano. The second bite of the cherry. Decena, will it stand? It looks as though it will. Questions of offside, but Daniele Decena looks to have surely delivered the winner. His first goal of the season. And Cagliari are headed to 3 massive points.
You see the joy and elation on his face. The two players that have been brought in January for the transfer window have scored the goals for Cagliari to bolster the attack. Good follow-through. As we said, this player's positional sense, his ability to eat up the field all over and make an impact and influence has been outstanding. Keeper could have done much better. Viviano, he's got to push that to the side with the knuckles. and he keeps the ball alive.
Wonderful reactions. Viviano, some strange decision-making today. He is punished, and it's surely, well, out of reach for Palermo unless something incredible happens, and that's what Hernandez is looking for. But our referee has pointed to the spot, a handball on Gabriele Perico, and this may be the exact lifeline that the Sicilians are looking for. A yellow card to boot.
You see Hernandez, and he's pulling away. I mean, just clips the back of his hand. Clearly a handball. He's in the area, and he's moving. He even kind of adjusts it.
He does leave that arm out, Christopher. Antonio Giannacato, no hesitation. So now it's Abel Hernandez for Palermo. He must score. It's as simple as that. Hernandez freezes the goalkeeper, and Palermo right back in it.
Well, this is beautiful. Cool as a cucumber, smooth approach, slotted right at the far post, and Hernandez playing his part, his fourth goal of the season. Palermo right back where they need to be. Great little finish right there. Agassi has no chance.
Don't take it. Just rolls it right past Michael Agazzi. Third and final switch. Ariado, the defender, will replace Ribeiro, so the intentions are clear.
Yep.
Cagliari are going to ride their luck and weather the storm.
Well, now they play with two up top, solidify the defense. I thought Ribeiro was great. He played his part. He was very smart in his decision-making and the options and the way that he surged in the attacking third.
First goal since October for Abel Hernandez, who comes back in triumphant fashion from injury. Trying to spearhead this Palermo comeback.
In retrospect, one would wonder if maybe Hernandez should have started this match, just to give a little more potency to Palermo, particularly the way they were playing with less possession.
They're set up for a very interesting finish here. Just when it looked like that Cagliari were headed to an easy victory, Palermo snatches one back as Perico deemed to have handled the ball inside the area.
Well, I think that Cagliari got their second goal at a perfect time. Palermo was growing in momentum. They were surging, getting better attacking opportunities and movements in the final third. They were crossing through Bazzaletti.
Just over the head of Hernandez, it just may drop. Palermo sensing a vulnerability about Cagliari, but as they look for that equalizer, the space opens up. It's Victor Ibarbo, 1v1, and it's very, very good defending for Mantovani. Some late drama.
Yeah, why not? I mean, he's in striking distance right here. I think he's been outstanding. His influence in the midfield. Magellan.
Cagliari with 3 more attempts on goal. Balzaretti. The Sicilians in search of an equalizer. Donati. And Pisano will join in. First time hit. And it's a header that goes askew. Signifies the frustration, really. Vasquez rising. Still an unwritten chapter left in this one. How will it end? Remember, Cagliari a chance to, of course, draw within a point of Palermo and move into the top half of the standings at the end of Saturday. It's part of the season. It really has a big determining factor in where the Scudetto and where the final places will reside. Here's Donati invited forward. Eros Pisano. Hernandez, who's really brought an element of creativity to the Palermo approach.
This one was a poor touch from Hernandez. I think if he recognized where he was at the top of the area, he'd want to hold possession and create for himself. But plenty of time for Palermo.
Iliacho trying to flick it forward for Hernandez. Cagliari pinned in here. No defensive conviction carry them through. That is the big question. Pinilla. He's a sandwich there.
That is a great turn. Yeah, he gets a little sandwich, but he pulls with tight technique, holds, and he knows that he can surge and break out. It's fantastic. Slow things down. Extra little contribution from the forwards. We saw it in the first 45 from Ribeiro. Outstanding stuff from Pinilla.
Just took an elbow there from Silvestre.
Agostini.
Good flick from Agostini. It lands to the feet of Nainggolan. Manages to squeeze off the cross, and that one's much easier for Viviano's liking. See the slight edge in possession here for Cagliari, but Palermo really had the better of it in the last 5 minutes. Nainggolan just couldn't bring it down. And Vasquez comes in, and Antonio Giannacato really had a good look at that one as Ekdal hits the deck.
Well, I think that the contribution from Nainggolan was huge. You know, because he was able to stop a ball out of the air with incredible acrobatic ability, and this is the conclusion. Ekdal a little bit late from behind. This is the touch right here, and then it keeps the play alive. And a little surge and acceleration. And it's just a caress on the inside of the ball. Player comes through.
Well, lucky to escape booking. We've seen 5 of them today.
He's got that little look like similar to Lavesi.
Davide Ballardini looking for his 4th win in charge of Cagliari. Another season of tumult in Sardinia. Looking to stay up for a 9th consecutive season, but here's Agostini in behind. Pass Pisano, pulls it across. Just skips out in front of De Sena.
He was a huge acquisition in January, De Sena, because his timing all night has been fantastic. He got the 3 up top that attack the area, and he always follows with about good 10, 15 yards.
And Palermo behind Hernandez. Final minute plus added on time. It's a decent looking cross, and just the slightest of headers from Davide Astori. Ilicic for Palermo. Knocked out in front. Canini definitely took his time and did come off of the Palermo player. 5 minutes added on. An eternity in football standards.
Well, that goes back to the injury with Conti. You know, he was down for a good 3-4 minutes.
Nazi pulls it in, and Silvestre gets ahead to it. To Ragazzi. The first foot he's put wrong today. This is going to be a fascinating final 5 minutes. Nothing assured yet, as Palermo throwing everything forward. It's Pinilla, and they continue their little individual battle. Just moments ago that Silvestre delivered that elbow on the Chilean striker.
This is going to be the big one. If you can get impeccable service with all the players you have in the area, you got about 7 from Palermo.
Iliacho in there. Ilicic will deliver. Out comes Ragazzi. Well, he was beaten to it, and Palermo had the opportunity.
And he knows it. A wasted opportunity. It was actually inside Ragazzi. Agazzi came around him from the back. And he turned his own body himself.
Agazzi cautioned by the referee. He did come for it here.
You see how it dips down here. He's come out. Pisano.
Looks as though it just came off the goalkeeper, and he's appealing that he was infringed. And there you go, son. Yellow for dissent. How Cagliari could do with a spell. They may get it. Ibarbo. Acres of room. Did he make the right decision? As Desena was calling for it. Down goes Ekdal.
He did well. Ekdal, a little bit of a hesitation, a pause, and a feint. And he floats over to his right. Mantovani takes him down. There was a defensive shell here at the top, so he wasn't going to be able to release to Desena. Good individual movement. Now it slows down the clock. We know that Piniella can strike from here.
No urgency right now. Cagliari content to take their time. A place in the top half of the table beckons for them. It's Pania standing over it.
Pania, it's 28 yards out.
They'll try and go up and over the top, and ill-fated. Haven't really been that impressive on their dead balls today. Time starting to run out for Palermo. They lost back in January 2011 here, 3-1. On the verge of back-to-back Serie A defeats in Sardinia. Oh, and it may drop. It does. And boy, do Cagliari get lucky. Sniffing around was Mantovani.
There's Hernandez, skips through the back. Huge opportunity. It just slides away and slashes right off the top of his foot.
And Perico opting not to clear.
Perico got frozen.
Nearly catastrophic. It's turning into a game of cat and mouse here.
Well, it hasn't been the most beautiful game when you look through the body of work in the midfield, you know, the build-up and the orchestration and choreograph. However, the first goal, Cagliari, was magnificent. You know, really executing on all levels.
Here in the final minute.
And you've seen the tension in the past 15 minutes, really, from Cagliari, trying to hold on with that late surge from Palermo. Well done.
Donati. And out comes Agazzi, punches only as far as Balzaretti, who knocks it right back in. Miliaccio on the turn, just couldn't get his foot over it.
He's taking too long. He's still going to get the corner. You see what Miliaccio wants to do. Keeps it up for himself. You know, gets the benefit of the doubt with a corner, but turning like a battleship. You know, there you have to strike quickly and look for the surprise element.
The 5 minutes is up. And will it be lucky number 7 on the corner kick? Palermo looking for the equalizer. Balzaretti delivers, and Pania dispatches, and that will do it. Cagliari with a massive win here in round 23. And the club hierarchy looking on very approvingly. The goals from Mauricio Pania and Daniele Desena. It was nervous in the end, Christopher, as Hernandez got a late penalty, but in the end the Sardinians take the 3 points.
Well, I think Cagliari deserved it, well-deserved, executed game plan. They had the premium on possession. They committed players going forward. Outstanding first goal. When you look at their key players, that quartet came through, and a huge 3 points, massive for Cagliari.
Cagliari 2, Palermo 1. Stick around, folks. We're back with more right after this.